Remember what Ben Crenshaw said at Brookline prior to the Sunday when they were way behind?
Correct.
I got a good feeling about this.
Is that what Topper said or what you said?
That's what I'm saying.
Oh,
It's a best of 5. They haven't gotten to 3 yet.
that's true. Nola?
What do you mean, no?
Nola's pitching game 3.
Oh, is he? He'll probably quick hook and put Ranger in there.
Yep. Vic, when you look at that fourth quarter, when you watch the film, what stood out as far as breakdowns and what went wrong?
Yeah, we just missed on a few plays where our coverage pickup was a little off, our run fit was off, and we had the penalty. It was basically that was it.
You ended up spending a lot of time on the field, a lot of snaps, a lot of minutes out there. How much did that play an effect in the fourth quarter?
I don't think it did. Our guys, you couldn't tell any difference with the way our guys were playing. Intensity and speed, no problem.
What went into the decision to start Ringo?
What was that?
What went into the decision to start Ringo?
That was a combination that he had played good enough the previous week. Dory, was just coming off his injury. So it was a combination of both.
You sticking with him?
Possibly.
It looked like Sutton got hot in the fourth quarter. When you have a big receiver like that, some of the back shoulder stuff, is there teaching points of that, or is that just if it's a good throw, that's really tough?
Yeah, it's a tough one to defend, especially with a guy his size. I thought we were tight, just weren't. They made it and we didn't.
What can a young defense learn about what took place in that final quarter?
With what?
What can a young defense learn about what happened to them in the fourth quarter?
No matter the circumstances, you got to be able to go out and execute. I got to be able to go out and give them good calls and, put out the fire.
Because he's had a pretty big workload in his first game. What sort of impression did he make on you?
Yeah, he made some nice plays out there for a guy that hadn't played at all in the regular season. So that was encouraging.
Was that the plan to play him that much, or was that something because he played well?
Yeah, I think it was, kind of both. But when he was going, when he made a couple plays, keep him in there.
At this time last week, you were still waiting to see how Nakobe looked. Now that you've had a week seeing him, how do you think he factors in when he gets out there?
There's a chance he could be active this week. Not positive yet.
And what type of role do you anticipate for him?
Oh, it would just be, because he hadn't had any game, no training camp. It wouldn't be a full-time role yet.
As far as Ringo, you said possibly he could start again. What does he have to do to turn possibly into, he's starting?
At this point, nothing. It's just, we got to make a decision between those two, and I think Keeley's done well. I mean, at the minimum, they could both play.
We saw Q have one of his better games against Tampa and then a good first half. What happened in the second half and following Sutton?
Yeah, they just, like we had said earlier, he was on them, highly contested. They made the play, we didn't.
I mean, do you think it's something that is it asking too much of him to constantly follow the top guy?
I don't think so.
You said no full-time job for Nakobe quite yet, but obviously with Jihad and Zach playing at a pretty high level, how can you make that work with the three of them, I guess?
We'll figure it out.
What have you seen from Jaxson Dart?
I like him. Another mobile quarterback. I think he's got that air about him to be a quarterback. I think he's confident in his abilities and in their offense. Got the gun-run game to contend with. They'll run quarterback draws, quarterback designed runs. He's good. I think they got themselves a quarterback.
When you're facing a quarterback that doesn't have a lot of NFL film, how do you prepare?
Use the tape that is available. Obviously he's played the last 2 games, played in the preseason.
When you have a play like Zach's that gets penalized, what do you tell him on that? Is he doing what you want him to do?
It was probably a little late, and since it was up near the head or neck area, that sealed it for the guy to throw it. But it was bang, bang, in my opinion. I've seen those called and not called.
Now that you've seen him for a few games, Darius, what does he add, not only from a skill set standpoint, but from that experience standpoint?
Yeah, obviously the game's not too big for him. He's been out there a lot in his career. Made a critical sack last week, which pushed him out of field goal range. I think he's getting better and better every week.
Circling back to Aziz, what do you think, I guess, took him so long to kind of crack the rotation or get the opportunity? And then how do you see it? How do you see it going forward? Have you seen a lot of progress, I guess, in between the start of the season now?
Yeah, when you're dressing 4 or 5 outside backers / edge players, special teams plays a major part in who's 4 and who's 5. And when Nolan went down, that gave him an opportunity. And Ojo went down, gave him an opportunity.
How do you kind of look at the fact you've only gotten like a sack and a half from your edge rushers, and obviously that's only Zadarius Smith. I mean, are you not seeing like production from the other guys?
Well, I mean, obviously the production or the stack numbers are what it is. I do think the ball's coming out fairly quick a lot. I think sack numbers, when you eliminate the big games that some teams have, are down overall in the last few years. The guys have been rushing good enough. We just haven't gotten there.
Why do you think more numbers are down across the league?
I think they throw it quicker. There's, a lot of the passes can be boots, screens, RPO, quick game. They just seem to be down. And I think teams are more protection conscious, a lot more chipping going on. All of that combined.
We saw Cooper get to the quarterback on that slot blitz. When you have a player that's as versatile as him, is it obviously that's good, but is there kind of like a challenge in terms of like how do you utilize someone who can do so much when you're game planning?
It's not a challenge. It's a good thing. He's playing nickel for us. Obviously, he plays corner and base. He could play safety if we needed him to. He's just a hell of a football player that I'm glad we have.
In the spring and summer, you kept talking about the role Jaxson was growing into this year. How have you seen him develop into that? And and what strides does he still need to make?
I think I thought he played good last week, this past game, better than the week before. He's still a young player coming from Cornell / Houston Baptist, not your everyday football factories. He's getting better. His future's bright, and he's getting better.
How did you feel about that, the grounding call? That really changed the complexion of the game too.
Whatever they call, they call.